It's Rahul here for Punch Out Boxing. I'm here with Sahni following Zhang's stunning knockout win over our own Joyce. Sad, but it was breathtaking, weren't it?
It was that. It was. I'm sad for Joyce. Heartbroken for Joyce. Gutted for him. Um, on the flip side, Zhang. Like if you're in Team Zhang, that was incredible. And he's now positioned himself at the very top table of heavyweight boxing. He's essentially got wins. I know he didn't get the decision, but he's essentially got a win over Hergovich, right? And then back-to-back stoppages over Joyce. They're pretty good credentials, and I think he's going to be so hard to beat. So hard to beat. He's that big. He stands the wrong way. He can hit you really hard and really fast. How do you beat a guy like that?
I was just speaking to his coach, Sean George, and he agrees that there's a bit of low-key disrespect of Zhang's skills. He's not just a big, strong, hard-hitting guy. He knows what he's doing in there.
Do you know what it is? I think everyone's looked at that fight where he had a draw and he was absolutely knackered, right? But I know he had a lot of problems going into that. He was fiddling about with his weight. I think he had like liver failure or sort of kidney failure, not liver failure, kidney failure during the fight. All sorts of mad things going on. But I feel like everyone's looked at that and they just thought, all right, he'll just get knackered. Don't worry about it. But he's really good. He's a real problem. Olympic silver medalist. I think people look at his age as well and they just think 40. Well, he's old, isn't he? You know, he won't be around for much longer. He won't be doing the later rounds, but he's okay. And his style isn't like this big, heavy volume puncher. He just waits, and then he cracks you, and then he really hurts you. He's a real problem.
Better say he's arguably the third best heavyweight in the world now.
Well, look, I've got him at number 4. Um, Tyson Fury obviously number 1. I still put Deontay Wilder number 2 because he put Tyson Fury through hell, and Usyk number 3. Sure, but I do think he can beat Usyk. I've got to give Usyk that free spot. You know, he's got back-to-back wins over AJ. He's just beaten Dubois, though he secretly got knocked out. But yeah, no, I think he's a real problem. Like on his night, he could beat any of them. Like who wants to take on a massive giant southpaw like that with quick, terrifying, fast hands, heavy hands? It's a real problem.
He's arguably just one win away from a seminal shift in the history of the sport. First Asian heavyweight champ. I mean, 30 years ago, I couldn't have imagined anyone but Americans dominating this sport.
Yeah, well, look, he's got Chinese power, and he's also got Chinese speed. He thinks he can beat Tyson Fury, by the way. He and all of his team believe that they've got the number 1 heavyweight in the world right there. They genuinely believe this. And when he's putting in performances like that and doing the unthinkable, in the first fight, he essentially broke Joyce's face. In the second one, he finished him off. This is unthinkable what he's done to Joyce. You would never have thought that. He was an underdog heading into the first fight, a favourite in this one, but when he was picked, it was kind of like, okay, it's a good name to add to Joe's resume, right? Didn't turn out that way at all. I am heartbroken for Joyce, and you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens next in his journey.
Yeah, you did say for the loser, it's a long way back. In hindsight, I mean, Joe went into the first fight already with the WBO mandatory secured. Who's if there's going to be a post-mortem, are you going to point finger, or who can fingers be pointed at? Is it his management? Is it himself? Or is it, dare I say, Queensbury?
No, come on. I mean, look, you got to be active, right? You got to keep him active. He's 37 at that point, 37 years old. You got to keep yourself active as a heavyweight. And Joyce always does that, and he takes risky fights. He takes hard fights because he normally juggernauts his opponents. It just turned out he ran into a guy who was like the Chinese version of him, and I think clearly Zhang was underestimated. I think he's underestimated still, probably, or maybe not after tonight, but generally by the boxing world. People don't appreciate how good he is, but they certainly know now.
Don't we all? All right, it looks like we're going to get moved on shortly, so we'll call it a night there. Bit of a sad one, but that's why we love this sport.
That is boxing, Raw Hogan. That is why we love it.
Indeed. Good night, Dev.